Let's go. Line 5. Morning, Jim. You're on the air.
Good morning, Paddy. How are you?
Top shelf today, sir. How about you?
Very good, very good. Paddy, I haven't talked to you for a while about the installation of a new generator, so-called new generator, a 7-year-old generator up in Holyrood.
Right.
So I figured I'd call you this morning because I like your intro. You're talking about the fact that people should know what's going on and how money is spent, etc., the people's monies. And this, to me, should be looked at very seriously by somebody in government or somebody outside of government. I'm not saying necessarily called in the police, but the police may be required to look at it. For example, I recall on your show, and you try to get information from people with Hydro or Nalcor about this whole matter of a new generator or a generator being installed to hopefully be in use to winter as a fallback. And at the time, I heard the vice president of Nalcor, who's still a head, I guess, of Hydro, connected to Nalcor. He said that the generator that we're talking about, and so much talk about, etc., it cost us $23 million. That's what the Hydro got for it. I paid for it. Well, I got proof and documentation. And proof is proof. And it should be made public long before now. Why? I don't know. Maybe the PUB will call a public hearing. If they do, of course, these people involved will have to come forward under oath and give evidence accordingly. And that's what a number of the interveners is asking for, including Danny Dumaresque. And I think others as well.
But didn't they already say they're going to focus in on this as well? So I think we've got some comfort and protection coming from the PUB on this purchase?
Yeah, I hope they will, because they in order to get an increase in their rates, and that's what it's all about, they're going to apply for a rate increase, Hydro will, based on the cost of monies they've spent this summer, including the generator up in Holyrood. Now, but that's now no guarantee that that's going to be given publicly. It's not given publicly as a date, because you know that they've asked for information regarding the costs, etc., and the prices they paid, to be held in confidence. And that's a request to the PUB, which I think awfully strange. The PUB has never been like that. They've always been open and accountable. I mean, when I say the PUB, the people who appear before them, like, for example, the Hydro Corporation over the years. It's not a new format that suddenly came into being. It's been there for a long, long time. And we never heard such things as going on now ever with Hydro, wanting to hide information on what they're spending, because it all goes into the rates to the people.
But the information they gave me, and I consequently shared with listeners on this purchase, they provided me with some of the responses to their tender, all the questions that I put forward, including some provided by Mr. Dumaresque. They responded to all of them to me, whether or not we accept the answers. Is there something that I'm still missing in this conversation?
Oh, yes, there is.
Like what? Let's itemize them.
That's the reason, Paddy, that right now there's something like 50 questions waiting to be answered. New questions gone into to Hydro through PUB, okay. And PUB, I assume, is waiting to get the answers from these questions. Very important questions. I won't go over the questions, but I know what the questions are.
Well, give us a couple of the key ones, because I know what they are, too. I have a copy of it.
What I'll do this morning, I called to tell you exactly what the Hydro Corporation paid for the generator. I'll give right down to the cent, if you like.
Let's go.
$54 million, $739 million. $54 million.
Yeah.
Not $23 million. That's only for the generator, and with the Hydro paying the freight to get it up here to Holyrood. Now, on top of that, to the same company, except this is an office open in Vancouver, Pro Energy Global Solutions. Now, they're part of Pro Energy in the USA. But they've got a contract on top of that for $45 million to install it. Now, can you imagine that? 54 for the generator.
Yeah.
And $45 million to install it.
And so that would be including all of the other above and underground equipment to accommodate, right? I'm assuming I'm just asking questions.
Yeah, I don't know what it includes. So I couldn't get up there. Somebody else couldn't get up to take a look what was going on.
So that's $100 million.
I have no authority to go there anyway.
So that's $100 million.
That's $100 million. Now the word is it's going to cost a further $20 million. $120 million out of that figures I just gave you are documented.
Yeah, no, we have an approval was given by the PUB for 119. So let's just say 120 if that's easier for a conversation. I am immediately during this break going to send an email to see if I can get a document that gives me details on 54 and 45 million, what that includes, whether that be, whatever, Jim. I'm not going to.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not going to speculate because I don't know.
I know you'll dig in and get all you can, and rightly so, because you tried before. But when you hear the chairman of Hydro, or the vice president of Nalcor, saying publicly what they paid for the generator, I knew when they said it was totally wrong information. Why would they deceive the public?
But
the public's money.
They sent me the 4 responses to the tender too. What I'm going to do is I'm going to craft an email during this break. I'm going to see if I can't get an itemized document that really does legitimately itemize everything involved in 45 and 54 million, the 2 numbers we just discussed. Be happy to share.
Yeah, no,
I get it. I got it written down. I got it all noted here.
And I've checked with at least 5 different suppliers of generators, the same type, in the USA alone. 5 people, and you know what they charge, all of them?
No.
For to install a generator of this type? Installation costs?
No idea.
$15 million. Something is wrong with all this expenditure. Where is all the money going?
I'm going to get some answers.
That's I know, hopefully you will. I've been getting, and this information I've gotten so far, I don't think it's confidential. I'm not sure, but I don't care. I got the information. It's public.
It's public now.
Now, I have one little comment before you go.
Okay.
Get off the generator. I was astounded yesterday to learn that Mr. Ottenheimer, who had a good performance at the leadership convention, I wasn't there. I didn't take part at all. Didn't want to. Now, but he was not even asked. He's a good man. I know that over the past years I've known him, and he's a lawyer. Why he wasn't asked to move in the position that Miss Manning has now got, and now offered now in the job. And I'm quite surprised when VOCM, and they're pretty accurate, and they leak for information and get the news, and they talked to Mr. Ottenheimer or communicated with him, and he confirmed he was never offered the job that's now offered and provided to Miss Manning. And I'm saying this is not the right thing to do at this time. Mr. Ottenheimer performed well at the convention. In fact, he came up front leading on the first ballot.
Right,
we all know that.
But what's to say Ottenheimer wants anything to do with that? He had his eye on the top job, and just based on personal conversations with Mr. Ottenheimer, I don't know what the conversation was between him and Davis. I don't think he had the appetite to take on any role.
Maybe he didn't, but the fact is he was never offered.
Yeah,
and our premier's saying over and over every day or so, we need a lawyer. We need a lawyer. Should have got a lawyer sitting in the caucus in the back bench. He's not retiring for a while. Mr. Felix Collins.
Yeah.
He's a lawyer. He's sitting there. If he wants a lawyer so bad to put someone in the cabinet from outside, as he's now done, why didn't he go back to Mr. Collins? He's a former cabinet minister. He's not resigning. I hear he's not resigning until the election is called.
Well, we'll see. I've got my own opinion on that too. I think he is going to step down. I really do. But that's, we don't know what goes on in these conversations.
But my point this morning is, what better way to mend any fences, and there's fences to be mended coming from the results of the leadership convention, I know that. And what better way to mend them than to put Mr. Ottenheimer or ask him to go into that position that's now gone to Miss Manning. That's all I'm saying. What better man could be doing? He's a lawyer. He's a good lawyer. etc.
Says who? Says who? Who says he's a good lawyer?
Be offered a job.
It's the same reason we're saying that Judy Manning is not a good lawyer, not qualified. Now people are telling me Felix.
I don't know her.
No, I'm just asking. Now you just told me that Felix Collins is a good lawyer based on what?
I don't know. Enough to be in the cabinet. He was in the cabinet as justice for a while, I recall.
This is Jim. I'm not going to argue with on this one, but here's what I find interesting about this. I cannot, in memory, drag up an instance where we debated the qualifications of the attorney holding the role of Attorney General. Honest to God, I can't remember once. Now, I know it's compounded with the fact she's an unelected minister put in that portfolio, but we are now gone haywire researching her legal background and commenting on whether or not she graduated from graduate school at the U of C. We're talking about her legal qualifications. I don't remember us ever talking about the legal qualifications of anybody.
I haven't said a word about Miss Manning. Never met her. Don't know her at all. I know her cousin. I worked with him when he ran a couple of times. But no, I'm saying never mind that side of things.
Well, no, it's important though.
The one that's bothering me, and nobody got the gall to say it.
Well,
when you see someone raising funds for a leadership candidate who became premier, did he get offered something else? Because his spouse has got the big job now in cabinet. Now, that bothers me because he was a fundraiser for the man who won the leadership. We all know that. Now he's the Premier.
Jim?
So something else promised to that man that maybe his spouse
Leo, my son,
would come in?
Leo Powers got her scald, my son. He's worked hard and he's got what he's got because he deserves it by and large. Let me ask you this question as a former member of the government and cabinet minister. You ever see anybody in the past do anything for the party that got a patronage appointment? I mean, come on, seriously.
Oh, they get patronage appointments.
Yes, I guarantee you.
In the past, but this is a situation where there's a leadership campaign, and the man that came first on the first ballot, he didn't get a look in. I know he didn't get a look in because he's confirmed that VOCM and other people, he was not even discussed with him. He was not even asked about it. Yet the Premier's looking for a lawyer, the new Premier. Well, I mean, come on.
Yeah, someone who was a friend of the party got an appointment. I mean, colour me shocked.
No,
seriously.
we're not totally
Honest to God.
The shock when he goes outside of the caucus members.
I understand.
Bring somebody in. That's shocking.
I understand your point, but I think that, put it this way. If Maureen Ryan, who was the new Attorney General and the Minister of Public Safety, would we be having this conversation? And people say, well, who's Maureen Ryan? I don't see her on the news with her purse-snatching client in front. No, but Maureen Ryan might be the heaviest hitter in the legal community here in Newfoundland and Labrador. But, of course, we don't see her on the news, so we don't know her. The conversation is, it's either we're crooked about everything, or it's unelected and refusal to run, or it's their legal qualifications. Unfortunately for the PCs in Davis, given their track record and their staggeringly low and dismal performance in the polls, everything is compounded. So now we are stepping way into, we're gone down a wormhole here. I mean, this is wild how Manning's being treated. She's anything but a human being. She's now Leo Powers' girlfriend, and she's also unqualified. It's just
I'll carry that. VOCM, CBC,
I only speak for me.
The facts are the facts.
I don't speak for the
he was a fundraiser, the race.
Yes, he was.
He was running for leadership.
Somebody a friend of the party got a friendly appointment by the party in power. I mean, honest to God, what are we talking about here?
A friend is a friend is a friend. When someone is going to raise the funds for someone to become a premier, and then the next same few days, he arranges for his partner to go into a cabinet outside of being elected.
Look, I understand.
Come on, Paddy, be serious.
What do you ask me to be serious about? I just told you that's what happened. That's what's going on here. Everybody knows it. People tiptoe around.
Everybody knows what, Paddy?
Everybody knows that someone who has connections to the PC party, whether it be through Fabian Manning, Leo Power, or otherwise, got a very favourable appointment without being in an elected position. It has snowballed and it's turned out to be a dismal decision by Davis.
Paddy, you're misunderstanding. The whole matter is about bringing in someone not going to run for a year or so, picking and choosing where she wants to run, with the advice, I guess, of Leo.
So what am I missing?
All that's not good enough. Why would you allow someone to do that when you got all kinds of people in the backbench never going to look in, and their constituents are saying, why? What's wrong with my man or my woman that's in there in the government, in the caucus?
It's funny how
bring in 2 or 3 people from outside and make it good because you can get along with them as a premier.
Yeah, a lot of people certainly concerned with Tracy Perry's career now all of a sudden. Anyway, you know what I'm saying, Jim.
He's one of the only women in there, I know. And then he gets on about saying that we need women in there too,
Yeah, we do.
That's fine. He needs lawyers and needs women, so he got them in the caucus now. And if they're not good enough to be served in the cabinet with him as lawyer, like Mr. Collins is,
and
the other lady's not good enough to serve as a woman. Well, look, if they're not going to do that, why go outside and bring somebody in when
you just changed your thought. You're almost about to say something savage. Go ahead. What? So if Tracy Perry's not up, in Davis's opinion, not fit to be in cabinet, then what?
No, I'm saying why is that? She's good enough to be the caucus member, like many other people I've talked to recent days.
That's the people in her district made her a caucus member.
What?
People in her district voted her in, makes her a caucus member.
People have been insulted now by the new premier. I got to say it. Nobody else got the gall to say it. Maybe I don't care.
No, but
I'm not going to be looking for a cabinet post.
And you got some other friends out there, former Tories, who are going around with, oh yes, we know who called who to make the Humber Valley paving. They said, well, boy, we know what's going on. Yeah, well, spit it out or be quiet. That's what I would say. I mean, if you know what's going on.
If they spit out Buddy Auditor General, Buddy Gander was meddling in the whole matter. He's a minister in the cabinet. Didn't kick him out. We kicked that to accommodate some people in the caucus. Get rid of McGraw.
We're kicking people out of cabinet now because they had political conversations as a minister. I mean, give me a break.
Paddy, why are you hiding behind this stuff?
What am I hiding? Are you joking with me, Morgan? Are you kidding me, Jim Morgan? I'm hiding behind what? Sure, I say more than anybody else has the guts to say on the air or in front of a camera or microphone in this province.
I agree.
So don't be telling me that.
But listen now, hear me out. Why would the Auditor General bring up this man's name, the Minister of Gander? Why would he bring it up in his report?
He did bring it up in his report.
Yeah, well, he was involved in it.
Of course he was.
Minister of Transportation.
Of course he was. He was absolutely involved, and it wasn't just about fire and emergency services either. It was about politics.
Yeah,
Guaranteed.
And it was about the contract, and he had no right to be meddling in.
Guaranteed.
But he's still there. Maybe Davis don't want to fire too many.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Jim,
the fact is a fact, and the thing going on right now is hurting the PC party worse than before. Davis has brought it down further since he took over as Premier. He did. He's bringing it down further. And I'm willing to bet right now that he can't find candidates, hear me out, he can't find candidates to run in the by-elections to run for them, the PC party. That's how bad they are right now.
They're having a hard time, and listen, no one's going to dispute that, because nobody wants to run with the likelihood of losing, all right? I mean, people run when they think they have a chance to win. They will have a hard time filling out a slate of candidates. The NDP will have a hard time filling out a slate of candidates, like the Liberals had a hard time filling out a slate of candidates in past general elections, because nobody wants to be fodder to the grist mill. Nobody wants to be the sacrificial lamb. That's why people have a hard time getting candidates. So you and I know, the whole world knows that that's not important.
You know and I know that the party is down so far, nobody wants to run for a losing party.
That's it.
So they can't get candidates. So what Mr. Davis should do, or Premier Davis should do, is call a general election, get the whole thing over, and get the party out of its agony.
Well, I mean, that'll be up to them whether or not they want to do away with whatever agony they're suffering. We all know what's going on there too. The conversations are real. Some of the questions are real. I've always enjoyed talking to you, Jim, and I got to go to the break here now, but you stay in touch at your earliest convenience. And back to our early conversation, early part of it. 54 and 45. What is inside of those two numbers in the millions? I'll do my best to find out.
Okay, so you take care. Have a good weekend.
Same to you, Jim. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yep. Yes, we all know what's going on here. Of course we know what's going on. Why? Because we're not stupid. But on that front, and I said this last night on Twitter, took a few swats for it, but of course that makes me thrilled to go to bed, sleep like a baby when that happens. We're going mad on the patronage. Look, it's cronyism and patronage. It just kind of bothers all of us, right? Because it seems patently unfair. Now, some appointments inside of government are strictly political in nature. Like the Chief of Staff, Premier Davis chose someone that he trusts and admires and thinks has integrity and could help him out as he takes on the role as Premier. Well, that's how it goes. People talk about Len Sims, Ross Reed, all that stuff. The insinuation, the problem is every time we go down the patronage road, we say and think that whoever received the appointment doesn't deserve it, period. They're not of the quality required, that they are only a friend of the party and just a beneficiary of patronage. That's where it goes when cynical nature of politics rules the day. Sometimes I think it's unfortunate. Like, if anyone's going to tell me Len Sims or Ross Reed or any other of the key appointments are not qualified or fit to hold those posts, then I would argue with you, because I think they are. But I think that some of the other party supporters now have gone so far with it, and I said this last night, and people didn't like it, but I couldn't care less what you like or not. The first Liberal patronage appointment, after I die laughing and pull myself off the floor from the laughing, we're going to talk about it. Why? Because the bar being set by other political parties now, promising the land of milk and honey, with transparency like we've never seen, like a friggin' scratch pad, well, boy, we're going to talk about that. The supporters of those parties are getting so carried away with what they offer as opposed to these big bad Tories. It's getting a little bit sickening, right? It kind of is. Am I tired of some things that have gone out with the PC government? Of course, because I'm like the rest of you. But do I think that all of a sudden there's going to be unicorns prancing across my lawn if anyone else takes over? Give me a break.